are going to look a little bit more at the questions that we were talking about yesterday. We talked about our essential overall question is, did Charles Sumner deserve it? And we looked a little bit at some vocabulary words already. We've also talked through a timeline yesterday of some of the stuff that we already had in our schema. Plus we learned a little bit new about Harriet Beecher Stowe yesterday also. So we put our timeline up here so far. Our next thing that I told you we were going to do is look at this supporting question of what happened to Charles Sumner, which some of you were even asking me yesterday afternoon. Charlie, I believe you said to me, Miss Haggard, I want to know more about him. We didn't figure all that out yesterday. So today, we're actually going to be learning just a little bit more about Charles Sumner. We're going to be doing that through an image analysis today. That means you're going to use your KWL chart just like we've done in the past. I'm going to give your group an image. That image then will have to do with helping to answer the question, what happened to Charles Sumner? It may or may not give you all of the answers. So a little bit later, we'll also then look at a historical document. And in that document, those vocabulary words that we looked up earlier are going to help us with that document and reading it and understanding it. So this morning we'll start, okay? So, which goes back to whenever we analyze an image, what's the very first thing that we do? 1, 2, 3.
Source.
Yeah, we want to stop and source it first. After you have stopped and sourced it, what's the next thing that you'll do?
Observe.
Observe. So we can look at the picture. While we're looking at the pictures, I'm going to give a picture to everybody in your group so you have your own picture in front of you to look at, and then the one person will be passing the recording sheet. All right? So everybody will have a chance to observe the picture. While you are observing it is when you're going to put down your thinking, and that's when we're going to be doing what? What's that next word? Do you remember what it's called? 1, 2, 3.
Contextualize.
Awesome job. Contextualizing. So as we are contextualizing then, that's when we'll be filling out our sheet, trying to figure out the who, the what, the when, the where, the what happened, questions you might have. And you know, we don't necessarily know everything about it, so our L section will be then, what could we learn more about this, or how could we learn more about this, or where could we learn more about this? So at this point in time then, what you are going to be doing then is...
It looks like a dude with a top hat. Let's read this thing. The symbol is salvage bulging and short head. It said 1856.
Oh, wait. I can do it. I think I can do it.
Because it's, argument of civil rights in 1855.
It was taken in 1856. It was taken in 1856.
Right, 1856. Do you agree with this word? It's 1856. So, 1856.
And I think it was taken in...
Now we're just They're in a club. Oh yeah, because it says heavy club. A short heavy club. A bludgeon. That's a weapon.
They don't really look heavy, but it doesn't look heavy to them, though.
Maybe a weapon.
Bludgeons are short and heavy.
Yeah.
Clubs are long.
Yeah, clubs are round. It kind of makes me why are they arguing? Maybe sending a letter. Right, but what about the people that have taken with them? What is it? See the guy with the symbol of the north of the head, the symbol of the south is the legend of the short heavy.
Right.
And they the North sending a letter to
Well, maybe they're voting and the South didn't like their vote, so they came.
yeah, but maybe it might not be a letter.
So still write down all of your thoughts, even if you're not for sure, because remember we're investigating right now. So put down everybody's thoughts. You have some good
It could be a
ones.
letter to send up that they're voting for something, and when you're voting, they get violent.
Right? And Hank, what were you thinking?
I was thinking that they made a vote that the South didn't like, and then they did violence.
Alright. So go ahead and add that to your KWL chart. So what are you guys writing down right now? Okay. Okay, so you think that might be related to Harriet Beecher Stowe? Why do you think that? They have the same last name. And what does it say about him on that?
He was a preacher.
Outspoken, an abolitionist, you said? All right. What does his quote say?
The North is the pen symbol, the South is the a short
So what do you think that means? If it says the symbol of the North is the pen, what do you do with the pen?
You write it.
You write with it. Who?
Do they have a penny like that, or I thought they had feathers?
But that would still work the same way.
Oh, yeah.
It was, right? So we have looked at feathers before and how they wrote with ink. You're right. Okay. Well, what did you put as your definition right next to it? Right here. A short, heavy club. Okay, so you remember us looking up that vocabulary word. So if we know that the South uses a club and the North uses a pen, what does that mean? Okay. You guys write some of that down. You have some good ideas. Add that to your KWL chart. All right, so how do you think that they're feeling?
Mad, violent, scared, upset, worried.
So tell me why some of those feelings are what you just brainstormed.
I'm worried because like the North or the South could be worried because of the other one is like winning in the Civil War, and they're scared that they might win it and then slavery will all be done.
All right, so when you say in the Civil War, how do you know this is the Civil War?
Because it says the it
says Civil
War.
And when did the Civil War happen? Who can tell me that? When was that?
1851.
No,
wait, no.
That was still in slavery.
So do you remember when the Civil War started?
1856.
Not in the 50s.
1865.
1865 is when it ends.
1861. Oh, so this isn't in the Civil War.
So,
This is before the Civil War. Maybe they're trying to stop slavery and then they start a war because of it.
all right. So when you say they're trying to stop slavery, what kind of people stop slavery?
The North.
Abraham Lincoln.
Martin Luther King. Wait, no, he is segregation.
He would be during segregation, wouldn't he? All right. So, what's the next thing you had? You had some feelings in there, but what's the next question?
When do you think the picture was taken? How do you know?
Okay. So you guys just told me a little bit about that.
1856.
Right. So that was before. Okay. So then if we look now, if we know that was before the Civil War, then you have go down to your questions that you guys had in yours. What were some questions you came up with?
Why are they beating each other? Why are they dressed like that? Does the South make ideas? Does the North write ideas?
Because
We have two questions there that I want to know a little bit more about.
Like, because
Does the South make ideas and does the North write ideas? Did that come off of something that you looked at or
yes,
that you
because
read?
I looked at the North symbol of the North is the pen, so maybe they like help write the ideas. And then the symbol of the South is the bulletin, so maybe they make the ideas for them to write.
He looks like the
I'm wondering, what does that quote mean? Who wrote that quote?
Henry Ward Beecher.
Who is that?
He sounds like Harriet Beecher's husband.
Well, it could be Harriet Beecher Stowe's husband. Okay, if her name is Harriet
Oh no, it
Beecher
couldn't.
Stowe, and his name is Henry Ward Beecher. Any ideas on that?
Maybe he's like a cousin or something.
Somehow related though, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you go back up to the quote, the symbol of the North is the pen. What do you do with the pen?
You write.
Right. Okay, what did Harriet write?
She wrote a book
named
called Uncle John's Cabin.
Right, all right. So what was her message in that?
To stop slavery and
All right. So then the other part of it, you had a question, is does the South make the ideas? Would you make an idea if your symbol is a short, heavy club? What would that mean?
no.
What do you think that means?
That probably means like violent.
So the other part, where do you think we could find out more about this image?
In the Library of Congress computer site or Library of Congress website.
So I heard you say Library of Congress twice. Why do you think Library of Congress? That seems really
We
stands out.
didn't think Library of Congress anymore because that's all the way in Washington, D.C.
So could this picture have come from there?
Well, yeah, it could have, but we had to get it online or something.
Where would you go online to?
Library of Congress website.
What website? Where'd you find a website?
On the bottom.
On the bottom.
So what is that part on the bottom? Is that called?
Argument of the student really.
So it's your source?
Maybe they're trying to like start getting the Civil War like in place, like they're starting the Civil War.
So you think this is like leading towards the Civil War is what your idea is then? All right, let's stop there for today. We're going to find out a little bit more when we actually do a reading part and a writing part a little bit later. Nice job analyzing today. Thank you.
That gives us a lot.
Who was in your picture? And we'll do each group. And as we come back around, if there's anything else we need to add at the end, we can. Toby, for your group, who's a who?
Men only.
Men only. Olivia.
The people with the bludgeon are the South, are the people from the South.
So you think the Southern are the people with the bludgeon? Right? Next group.
Henry Ward Beecher.
So you think Henry Ward Beecher is in that picture?
Yeah.
He does give a quote in there, doesn't he? All right, we'll see. We'll have to see if we can find out. Next group, Allie, is that your group? See what's one?
There's 10 people in the picture.
10 people in the picture. Olivia, another one?
The North people are the ones with the pens.
So the North are the people with the pens. Okay, another one, Allie?
Abolitionists.
Abolitionists. Okay. Jace.
Rebels.
Rebels. What's a rebel? Yeah, someone who's against something, right? Rebelling against it. Any other who's? Do we have who's taken care of? Would you pass the paper to the people who is a 2 in your group? 2s, you're sharing a what with me? A what? I'm going to go around the other way. So Charlie, your group, what's a what? What's happening?
Because they want slavery.
Okay. So they're having this argument because of over slavery? Argument over slavery. Next group. Austin, tell us what you guys have for what's happening. They're demanding. What are they demanding? Okay, so they're demanding freedom for the South. Next group.
Lead to the Civil War.
You think this is leading to Civil War. Right? Next group right over here, Hank.
The people with blood and they're trying to hurt our planet.
People with bludgeons are trying to hurt who?
North.
Trying to hurt North. Okay. Lydia, did you guys have a different one?
We never
Don't have a different one for it? Is there any other group that has a different one that you would like to put in there? Toby?
voting.
Voting. So you think what's happening is that they're arguing over voting? Or what about voting?
I think they're writing, so they're voting for something.
Okay, so the writing that they're doing is about voting. Okay. Anybody else have one that they think is what's happening in that image? Allie?
The thing they're arguing about might be slavery.
Their argument, it might be over slavery. And we have that one on there already. So, Nadia, do you have a different one?
Argument of the chivalry.
Argument is chivalry. All right. Anybody else who has a different one that we have not put up yet? All right. That means it goes. The paper goes to the number 3, and you're going to tell me when this was happening. When is this happening? I'm going to start in the middle this time. Trent, can you tell me when this is happening?
1856.
1856. Right. And we know that was in the sourcing part of it. Can anybody help me figure out 1856? So what's happening in that time period, or what's going on to help us put that into context? Alexis?
Slavery stopped.
Okay. Has slavery stopped by now if it's 1856? Not yet. Okay. Has the Civil War started yet?
No, it just ended.
Okay. 1856. You're transposing those two numbers. 1865 is when it stopped. So has it started yet? Mm-mm. So Civil War has not started yet. Which makes me go back to, there was a group who said leading to the Civil War. Is that why you put that? All right. Berkeley, something else you'd like to add? Oppression is happening. Oppression of who?
Slavery.
All right. Oppression of slavery is happening at this time. Got it? One last one, Allie?
Slavery is happening.
Slavery is going on at this time. All right. The next one is where. Where is this taking place at? Where is this taking place? See, what'd you guys put down for where?
It looks like they're kind of in a school.
In a school, maybe. Okay. Where else could be our where?
In like a city hall.
A city hall. Okay. Any other ideas?
Library.
In a library. All right. Any other ideas for where? What do you think, Mason?
You can find some clues in the pictures, and you could also research it.
Okay, so this might be a question that we actually have, is where is this happening at? Am I hearing you right? All right, so I'm going to add that question down below right now. Where is this happening? For a question that we have. Alexis, something else to add?
Kind of looks like they're happening at in a secret place.
Okay. What makes you think a secret place?
Because there's not many people, and it kind of, because like, they're kind of, because it looks like they're trying to hurt people, and so I think they're trying to hide so they don't get in trouble.
I'll add that to the list. Thank you. Hank?
I think they're at maybe the Capitol.
The Capitol. What makes you think the Capitol?
Because it looks like Congress near there.
Looks like Congress, you said? All right. Let's go on down to the question section. A question that your group has. One is, where is this happening?
Does the North write ideas?
Does the North write ideas? What do you mean by that?
Like, write stuff that, like,
Where is your question coming from? From the picture or from the sourcing the words that are down below?
the picture.
Okay, in the picture, so it looks like they might be writing something. All right, Allie, what are you thinking? Okay, who is Henry Ward Beecher? What does it say about him on there?
He says he was an outspoken active abolitionist.
Okay, outspoken abolitionist. Nadia?
He raised money to buy weapons for those fighting against slavery in Kansas and Nebraska.
Okay, so he was raising money for weapons. What else, Lindsay?
Is there any relation between him and Harriet Beecher?
Is there a relation between Henry and Harriet Beecher Stowe? Why are you asking that?
Because she kind of has Beecher in her name, and so does he. So I think they could be like cousins or something.
So you're thinking because they both have Beecher in their names, there might be some sort of relation there. All right, Olivia.
I was thinking, like, what are they writing? Are they writing a letter or what?
What are they writing? Okay. Alexis,
What kind of club is it?
what kind of club is it? Okay. Charlie?
What does the man have in his back hand? Because one man has something in his back hand.
Okay. What is the man holding in his hand? You can't quite figure it out. Any other questions you have, Allie?
Who are the people with the metal clubs?
Who are the people holding the clubs? Okay. Caroline,
Why is the South so mad?
why is the South so mad? Okay. Nadia.
Why are they dressed like that?
Okay. Okay. Alia.
Who is the man sitting on the chair?
Who's the man in the chair? I'm running out of space. You guys have so many good questions. Who's the man on the chair? One group that I listened to thought that that might be Henry Ward Beecher, but they weren't sure. So we'll have to see what we can find out about that. Okay? Some great questions. We'll stop there, and a little bit later, I will share with you then a document that tells a little bit more about this picture. So some of your questions I'm going to tell you right now are going to be answered, and some of them may not all be answered, and we might. So here's what we'll be doing now. We have been talking about this image of what happened to Charles Sumner, and you analyzed this a little bit earlier today. Now we are ready to hear a story about it with a document here. This story is from A History of Us, Liberty for All. That actually comes out of a book, a secondary source, where this lady actually researched what was going on to Charles Sumner, and then she wrote about it. So that's where the pieces of this article are from. So it is a ... at the beginning and a ... at the end, because I didn't pull out the entire book to give you, or the entire chapter. It's just a piece of it out of there. And that's why that looks like that. So here's your job right now. I would really like you to listen to this story, see how you think that it may also relate to this image, and I'll put the image right here to the side that we looked at earlier this morning. It's going to answer a few of the questions that each of you had and brainstormed earlier too. Then, after we are finished talking about this story, I will then let you use evidence from the picture and evidence from this piece of writing right here to actually write what happened to Charles Sumner. All right? So, here's how it goes. This book was actually written in 2003. So they're looking back in history and telling a little bit about what happened there. Here's what it says. Back in Washington, D.C., the abolitionist Senator Charles Sumner stood up in Congress and spoke for 2 days. How long?
2 days.
Where are they at?
Washington, D.C.
In where, Hank? And where in Washington, D.C.? Where are they at? Was he speaking at? It was a question that you thought might be earlier. So I thought you might... Yes, the Capitol at Congress. You're exactly right. And he's speaking for 2 days. Does that seem like a long time? Yeah, I think so too. Let's keep reading. Congressional debate usually follows rules of good manners. What's a debate? What's a debate? What's that mean, Allie? Something you might stand up against, so you might tell your side, the other person would tell their side, this person tells their side. Okay? Anything to add to that, Lindsay?
Usually you're like going back and forth about your problem. You're trying to solve it, so you're going debating about it back and forth.
All right, so they're going back and forth, and that means to debate. So Congress debate usually follows good rules of manners. Tell a partner sitting next to you what would be good rules of manners in a debate when you're going back and forth telling about things. Talk to a partner. Go. All right, some ideas of good manners. What's one that would be a good manner, Mason?
Well, if you like be honest or
So being
not disagreeable.
honest and not too disagreeable. Polite. What does that mean? Be nice to somebody. All right. Let others share their ideas. Help them when they're stuck or they don't know what to do. Is that what you said? Awesome. Lindsay.
Use non-violent ways to solve the problem.
Use non-violent ways to solve the problem. Have we talked about these things before when we have been talking about in class, when we've been going back and forth and debating things or talking about things? Not even last thing.
Be honest.
So being honest. All right, let's keep going. So we're saying in Congress, the debates usually follow good manners. You just told what those were. Let's keep reading. It says, it makes sense to be polite. Ooh, somebody said that one. Even to people you don't like. Does that happen here at school too?
Yeah.
Even if we don't really care for somebody, does that mean we're mean to them?
No.
No, not at all. All right, Sumner didn't consider that. He called the Missourians, the people from Missouri, murderous robbers. And Sumner called them hirelings. Now, we looked up that word. It said a person who works only for money, especially one paid to do something unpleasant. Okay? So he's calling them murderous robbers and hirelings. And he said they picked up from the drunken spew and vomit of uneasy civilization. Does that sound like something that you would want to say to somebody that sounds very nice?
No way.
No. All right, let's keep reading then. That was just for starters. Okay? Then he managed to insult South Carolina Senator Andrew P. Butler. And he even talked to South Carolina and saying, you are shameful imbecility. That's that foolishness we talked about earlier. It was not the kind of speech that could lead to a compromise. What's a compromise again? What does that mean, Hank? To talk it through, and everybody gives a little to come to a conclusion and try and work out the problem. So they could not lead to a compromise or the working out of problems. But no one expected what happened next. Listen to this. 2 days later, after all of Charles Sumner's telling these inappropriate things, this is what happened. 2 days later, Preston Brooks, who was a cousin to Andrew Butler. Who was Andrew Butler again?
Sumner LOC.
Yeah, okay. So he walked into the Senate. He walked right up to Charles Sumner, who was seated at his desk. And he began beating him on the head with a gold-topped cane. Okay? Sumner's legs were trapped underneath a bolted-down desk, and he couldn't move. He was almost killed. He was absent from the Senate for the next 3 years after that because of his injuries. Now, the Richmond, Virginia Inquirer, that newspaper we were talking about, praised Brooks' actions and said, "The vulgar or rude abolitionists must be lashed into submission." Brooks received new canes from people all over the South. Okay, Mason?
I had a connection for this part here. Remember to do or what someone makes you. Like, remember slavery? How like the masters would tell slaves what to do, and they weren't even paid for it.
So it's the same type of thing. They're trying to, when they say submission, just do what I said you have to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he's saying in here
They
too.
were lashed into submission.
Lashed into submission. And who is it that they're trying to do that to? Abolitionists. The people who are trying to do what? What are abolitionists trying to do?
Slavery.
Stop slavery. And they're saying, I don't think you can do that. We're not going to let you. Okay? Now, I'd like you to talk to a partner now about how this story right here and this picture right here that you looked at this morning, anything now, what do you think now about those two things? Talk to your partner sitting next to you right now. No. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, considering that document that we just heard about, and we want to consider that image that we looked at this morning, okay, what are some things that you're thinking now? What do you think now, Kale?
They're both two people hitting each other with big canes, like big...
Who, and why? What happened in the story that would tell us who and why that is?
Preston Brooks was hitting Charles Sumner.
It was his relative that came in and did that, was hitting Charles Sumner. You're right. Why was he hitting him with a cane?
Because he said something rude.
Because he was saying something rude. You're right. To his relative, exactly. What are you thinking, Nadia?
Why are there people in the background?
Who are those people in the background? Is what her question is now. Does anybody know who these people are who are sitting in the background? Toby, who would they be?
like the people that are watching Charles Sumner.
They are watching, but who are they? Ethan?
Missourians.
Some Missourians, some South Carolinians, all the people who are where? There may be abolitionists, there's some that could be, but where are they at? You told us earlier, where are they? They're at the Capitol in Congress. So these are congressmen who are in here. So that's who's in the background watching this happen. Okay? Alexis, did you have something you wanted to add?
I don't think he deserved it because you shouldn't even though they did something wrong, you shouldn't hurt people.
So you're thinking back to the essential question right now, did Charles Sumner deserve it? And so far you're thinking to yourself, okay, he shouldn't have said what he said. I don't think you should go use violence in that way. Okay. Olivia, what do you notice about what we talked about this morning, the story now, the picture now? What are you thinking?
I can't really figure out if he did or not because it was wrong for him to say that.
All right.
But at the same time, it was wrong for him to do that.
All right, so you can see both sides of it. You're saying he shouldn't have used those words, and you're saying the other person shouldn't have come in and hit him. So right at this point, you think that we need to look at some more information and some more documents maybe, and some more pictures, and find out a little bit more before you can actually decide this overall question?
And also, mainly it goes back to Missourians because my big sister, she's in Missouri.
Okay, so people from Missouri, we all just clump them all together and talk about all of them in that one way and say, oh, these people from Missouri are this and all these people from Missouri are that?
No.
Okay. All right, Nadia?
They could have punished him, but they shouldn't have punished him like that.